Hey, 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 what's up, everybody? It is the Ace Michaels Show. And I'm Ace Michaels. Thank you for joining us today, being part of this magic that we call whatever we call it. You know what I mean? Today, my goal is to ask you guys about accountability. Yeah, man. Accountability has a lot to do with, like, okay, who pays for the check when a group of people go out? Who is accountable for that? If your friend says you're invited to something and then that event gets canceled, who's accountable for that? If you're driving your friend's car and they don't have their tags up to date, so you get a ticket, who pays for the ticket? Who's accountable in these cases? Like, I think sometimes when you're dealing with other people, you have to establish before the drama, like what's going to happen in the case of accountability. Like, if this doesn't work out and you move in and then you end up moving out before the lease is over and I got to find someone else to rent that room, who's accountable? Seems like you should have to be accountable for some of that. Does that make sense? Or is that crazy talk? Would love to know your thoughts. All you have to do is contact the show. Let us know what you think, your ideas, your opinions, or suggestions, convictions, beliefs. We want to know all of that on the Ace Michael Show. And if you want to be a guest on the show, all you have to do is reach out to us and say, hey, man, I'd like to be on your show. In which case, of course, we'll put you on the show. It'd be our honor to have you be on the show. On the show today is a music artist. Candice Cooper is with us. Candice, welcome to the Ace Michael Show, baby.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm muy excelente. I got no true complaints.
Hmm.
Candice, tell the people what you're all into because I know a little bit, but I'm sure I could even stand to learn more. But tell the folks what you're up to.
Okay, so I am a music artist and martial artist. Um, I started singing at age 4. Um, Started martial arts at age 4 as well, and became a black belt at age 9. I mean, yeah, age 6.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and from there, like my whole journey is my whole childhood was basically martial arts. And in the midst of that, I started to, be involved in music because my peers, they were older than me. And so they were rapping and I was dancing, like being a backup dancer and learning choreography and dance classes and all of that. So once I got to being a teenager, one of my mentors, he was actually um, in the music industry, managing artists, working with like Kiki Palmer at that time, Raven Simone when she was
Hmm.
singing and stuff like that. And so he had joined Taekwondo, the same school I was.
Hmm.
And so he was able to, be my first mentor music wise. And to fast forward, my mother, she was a part of this organization to kind of give back to the homeless. And it was a guy who was over it. He was actually a musician for the Grammy Award winning artist Kim. And so he was his keyboardist.
Hmm.
And so he ended up being my second mentor in music because he was on tour and all of that. And he's the one that prompted me into being like recording myself, learning how to record myself. And
Okay.
so once I started to learn how to record myself, I had ended up making my very first song, my first song I recorded and everything. And I ended up submitting it in to a record label just to see if I could get signed or something.
Hmm.
And I ended up getting a distribution deal off
Oh,
of that
nice.
first song. So I ended up getting that done on a more higher professional level. My very first song was called Take Control. And so once I did that, I started doing shows, going out of state, doing shows, traveling. So I officially started doing music professionally 2013.
Oh, wow.
And so that's when I got the distribution deal. So ever since then, I've been traveling doing shows. Um, was going to like different auditions. I had moved to California, got a chance to be a music artist on a BET show. It was a lot going on with me traveling, trying to get myself out there. And then to fast forward, oh yeah, and I got a chance to also sing the national anthem on ESPN for
Oh
a
wow.
semi-pro basketball team in Atlanta. So now to fast forward, I ended up being able to get a music placement in the Tyler Perry movie. And ever since that happened, a lot more doors been opening for me left and right. Me getting invited to, big award shows, BET Awards, NAACP Image Awards, a lot of these different award shows being a part of Grammy Week. And then I ended up getting another music placement with Tyler Perry. So Tyler Perry and them, they're liking my music. My song
Like
was
very nice.
Vamonos.
Very
Yeah, my
nice.
song was Vamonos, and they chose that song again. So they really like that song Vamonos. So yeah, I ended up getting my second music placement last year in Beauty and Black, season two. And now I'm just trying to I'm in the middle of rebranding because I want to incorporate my martial arts background within my image for me doing music because you gotta, bring more than music to the table nowadays to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So I am incorporating my martial arts background. So once I get to the point where I am back doing shows, traveling and stuff again, I'm gonna also incorporate me having my self-defense program to where people can do that before I do my shows because my self-defense program is different from regular like self-defense classes because with my classes I want it's going to be for teenage girls and women, so I want them to come pretty. The name of my program is Bad and Pretty Self-Defense. Bad is an acronym. Yeah, bad is an acronym for bold and diligent. So I want them to come to my class looking pretty, wear your makeup, come in there with your nails done, your hair done, wear what you may think is cute. If you want to wear just for teenagers, if they just want to wear lip gloss, then that's what make them pretty. So, I want them to come because 9 times out of 10, when females will be assaulted, they're not always in comfortable clothing. They're
Mhm.
9 times out of 10 being assaulted when they're looking their best. So that's why I want them to come to my class feeling pretty, and I'm going to, help build their confidence. And it's basically common sense self-defense that I'm going to be teaching. So I'm already getting that started here in Vegas. I just got a deal getting that started at
Mm.
these community centers. And so that's going to be a part of my whole rebranding because with martial arts it's going to incorporate pop. So I'm not just doing just R&B anymore. I'm opening up to doing R&B and pop and a little bit of EDM too. So I'm working on new music that is also getting into those lanes as well. So yeah.
So tell me what motivated you to stick with the discipline of being a martial artist. That's a lot of discipline, and especially at such a young age. Why did you why did you want to kick some people's asses when you were 4 or 5, 6 years old?
Well, I at that time I wanted to do everything my older brother wanted to do, and he wanted to do taekwondo. So I wanted to do taekwondo, and I just
Okay.
kind of fell into it like that. And once got started with it, I had fun, and then I got really good at it to the point where I got inducted into the World Martial Arts Hall of Fame at age 9.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so like I just fell into it, and just because I wanted to do what my older brother was doing, I just fell into liking it.
Did you or have you yet run into any real life experience where you had to like break a board or snap the wrist, walk away? Like what like what has happened in real life where you've had to be like, "You know what? I got this."
Well, I haven't ever had to fight anybody to defend myself because I'm guessing because I've always been in the spotlight as the karate girl.
Okay.
Everybody knew me as the karate girl. I did demonstration in front of the whole entire elementary school, and I was
Okay.
quiet. and I was
Okay.
quiet. So a lot of my peers would tell me, "Oh, didn't nobody want to mess with me because I was quiet and I was the karate girl."
Right.
So as far as that, no, but I did have to break boards to become a black belt. I had to do that. So I was taught how to break it, where to kick or hit the board for it to, break and all of that. So
Uh-huh.
I did have to break some boards.
Wow. And then being in the entertainment industry, you probably have broken some hearts too, because wouldn't guys underestimate you thinking that, here's this cute little thing, and then they find out that, wait a minute, she could fold me over. I better watch myself.
Well, at first, I wouldn't even, mention my martial arts
Hmm.
because, I kind of wanted to just, I've reached my goal, my highest goal in martial arts. So I kind of wanted to put that to the side and not even mention it. So for a long time, a lot of people didn't even know that, I had my martial arts background in music or whatever. But now, people are starting to see it now, with me doing it. So it's kind of late that I'm kind of putting it out there, letting it be known in the music world. But at first, they did not know at all. But I think if they would have known some things that was done to me crazy, would not have ever happened. So
Right.
yeah, yeah, because this is a male-dominated industry, and a lot of them try to, not be fair towards us females, and you know, so yeah.
Let's talk about that. How unfair is it? Would you say, like, if you could put a percentage on it, would you say it's 97% unfair, 57%? Every once in a blue moon, it's unfair, or is it just totally unfair and we just gloss over it?
Now, when you ask that question, is it for just for female as a female?
Well, I would imagine your experience has only been as a female, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so from a female perspective,
Mhm. Yeah, I would say in the 90s because
really?
I've had quite a few crazy experiences as a female trying to make it in music. Um, there was one situation where I was offered to be on a high level, have access to A-listers, you know, just be easy access to everything and opportunities. And all I had to do was sleep with the person.
Mm,
I'm not trying to sleep my way to the top. I don't care if you're a billionaire, the finest man on earth. Like, no, I'm not doing it.
mm-hmm.
So I turned that down. With me being a woman, a lot of that happens a lot in the industry where a lot of women are, you know, offered opportunities in exchange for sexual favors in exchange for opportunities. And um, I hate to say it, but a bigger percentage of the women go for it, you know. But I can't really fault their decision because I don't know their background. I don't judge people. So, some people that might be helpful for them to get through the door. Like, I mean, you never know people's backgrounds, but for
Yeah.
me, I'm not doing that. So, yeah, that was crazy. And yeah, so
See, now I have lived on the side of it where, as for being a man, I've run into men in show business that have their favorite girls, we'll call it, and they do special things for their favorite girl. But I have never, and I mean absolutely never, run into any man who's like, hey, we got to get this girl a record deal because, she's been sleeping with me, or anything serious. Like, they may have, in the privacy of whatever they may have said to that girl, they were going to do this thing and that thing. But I've never, ever seen in actual practice anybody get an advancement of any kind because they did the damn thing. And I think,
and I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't think that actually be happening. I think they just, be talking just to try to, sleep with them.
yeah, and I've never known anybody who knew anybody who could say, well, the reason Maggie is out on tour now, if your name is Maggie, it just happened to be a name. It could have been any name. Relax, right? but
Mhm.
but but I've never seen anybody in real life that said, you know what, the reason so and so is the head of this division is because he or she slept with, you know, Elon Musk. That's his real name, by the way. I am talking about him, but but you know, nothing ever came of that, and I think that's a myth of success. That's just a story, like you said. It's a story that people say because you'll never be able to find out if it's real. You'll never be able to justify it if they say, "Oh yeah, well you know." Angelina Jolie was one of the ones that I helped, and that's why she's so big. Well, you're not going to call her. You can't ask her. You'll never know,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
It's very interesting. So you got into the business from martial arts, then you did music, which is treacherous, probably more treacherous than anybody you ever had to spar off against in the martial arts industry. And so now you're doing your thing. What's in the future for you?
So my thing is because I kind of seeing how the industry is shifting a lot, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to adapt to that. And for me, I am trying to have my basic self-defense thing program set in place. Um, as kind of like, because my image is I'm a pretty girl, not afraid to get my hands dirty. That's my image for my music, me being a music artist. So I'm trying to make sure that I have that foundation to uplift women with my martial arts side. And as far as for my music, there's I'm trying to get to the point where I can continue to have build up more my royalty checks so that I can continue to have that. Because nowadays, when it comes to selling music, especially streams, it's like, ooh, it's crazy. It's like it's hard for you to even make money, real money off of
Mm-hmm.
streams nowadays. Like I wish it was back in the CD era. But so with it being really hard to do that, I'm trying to set up myself in other ways to where I can be able to also help other up and coming artists when it comes to trying to navigate and trying to, have more than one source of income when it comes to music because people are not making money off of one just music by itself anymore. You got
Right.
to have other things. You got to have other sources of income. So by me having my martial arts self-defense thing, that's another source of income that I'm going to have along with me trying to build different ways for me to accumulate money in music as well. So I'm just trying to build up. I'm working on more music placements that's on the works. So that's gonna that's my main thing is trying to build up bigger royalties for the future. So
And the royalty opportunities seem to be coming harder and harder. There's so much more competition than there was, say, even just a few years ago, right?
yeah, but it depends. It depends on what you got going and who you know. And for me, it's who I know. So it's a blessing for me. That's all I can say
No,
when it
that's
comes to that.
no, that's interesting because I've never heard anybody say it just that like that. Like it's more who you know, and you actually feel like you know the right people. Would you be able to make it? Do you think in this music industry would you be able to make it without knowing some of the people that you know? Honestly.
Um, I believe it is possible, but it will be harder.
Hmm.
It will be harder. I believe it is possible, but I mean, you got to start somewhere. But I do think it is possible that a person can still make it without having connects. But you definitely gonna need it down the road. But starting off, but going the whole way, no. Mm-mm. But starting off, you got to build there. So I guess my overall answer will be no because like once you get yourself out there, because it wasn't just handed to me for my music placement. I had to submit my music in, and I was able to, you know, be able to network and meet the people for my music placement opportunities. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so my overall answer is no. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to, you have to build connections. You
And
have to.
and what do you think about the tendency nowadays? Everybody's got a statement to make with their art. Do you think that it's important to have something to say as an artist, or can you just entertain people? Like, can you just be a good entertainer, or do you have to have a political standpoint, a political message?
I feel like you don't have to have a message because, I mean, everybody is not the same. There are some people that are just good at just going out there and rocking the stage, and some
Mm-hmm.
people are not. Some people have to have a little controversy and, this and that. And then there's some artists that really don't care what people think, and they're going to go out there and do their job whether people agree or not. But, it just depends on the person to me. Because Beyonce, she have so many. What she do, she don't really like come out and do interviews, talk like addressing things.
Mm-hmm.
She'll put it in her music.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that there are some people out, some artists out there that can just not express their political views or their views on certain things, and it is what it is, and they can still, make it.
And what about you yourself? Do you have a place where when you write something, you say, "Oh, you know what? That's too personal. I don't want to put that in my music." Or is that mostly what you do? Do you say, "You know what? This is my music. I want people to know about my personal life, so it fits in there."
To be honest, I actually do be putting some personal things in my music, and those tend to be one of the best songs from what people tell me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wasn't doing it like at first, but I'm starting to do that now to where, I put some of my personal life or situations in songs, but I can be a little creative to kind of, you know, make it more relatable to more people, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still the
Mm-hmm.
same situation that I've been through. So, yeah, I don't mind putting, you know, making personal situations or whatever in my music. I don't mind doing it now.
Got you. Now, where will you feel is your personal boundaries? Like, what? How far is too far? How much is too much?
For me, I would probably say like if I was to have kids, I don't have kids, but whenever I do, the kids will be off limits for me.
Mm.
But for me to not have kids right now, um, I would probably that's a good question. I ain't really just thought about that. A boundary for now.
Well, let's say in the boundary sense, that's actually probably a really good place to start. So, right
Mm.
now, without having children, you say, that's not really going to be a place for me. Like my kids and my music videos, songs about my kids. I'm not going to try to draw attention to my kids and my family. But what if your kids decide they want to make it in the music business, and then they want to include you in their side? Like, where are the boundaries?
Well, it will depend on the age.
Okay.
It would depend on the age for me on it. So if they're like a teenager and they're close to being grown and this when they want to, so it just depends on the age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you think when they're a teenager, that's a little bit more apt to. Now, by the time you have kids and they're teenagers in this technological society, God knows what'll be a possibility for the
Right.
music industry, you know?
Right. Right.
Wow. And last pitch, I want to ask you about some values. So we always say that we would do some things for money. Sometimes people say they wouldn't do anything for any amount of money, right? But if a
Mm-hmm.
record label came along and they were to give you a blank check opportunity where they were basically going to pay you any amount of money that you want, but they want you to compromise yourself, where are your boundaries there?
Well, I definitely know what I will and will not do.
Hmm.
So, um, I will just let them know what it is up front, and we will have to come to an agreement. We will have to go back and forth. Um, Now, are you wanting me to like name some things
No, I'm just
or
curious.
what?
Like, we all say there's limits to everything. But then what
Mhm.
happens is those limits and those boundaries get pushed when the actual situation comes up. Um,
Mhm.
you may write a song that you wrote. It's about a wonderful love relationship, and then some politician uses that song in their campaign, and you want to say, no, my song was never intended to be like used like that. My song was about two people who fall in love and have a blissful relationship, and now you've turned it into like some kind of anthem, and I don't like what you represent, and I don't like why you're using my song. But that check though.
Well, nah, I wouldn't want to. I still would not want to support something that I don't agree with. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
standing on that. I don't care how big the check is. Just like I've heard that there's some like let's say that there's a recording contract. It's good, but they say in the contract, because I'm a believer of Jesus Christ. So
Mm-hmm.
if they say in the contract, well, you get $300 million contract, recording contract. But one of the things you can't do, you can't mention your belief in Jesus and all of that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I'm glad to turn that down. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I'm glad to turn that down because I'm not about to denounce who I believe in. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. So that is something I will not negotiate on. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's just one example.
But that's a big example because then we go to the alleged philosophy that there's a hidden cabal of people in the entertainment business that are doing very unspiritual things and have a very unspiritual
Mm-hmm.
um, goal. And your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts on that? Is that a true thing in your opinion?
My opinion, I do believe that that is real.
Mm.
I feel like it's real. Just like I believe that demons are real and that doing certain things it can enter inside your body. I like this that type of stuff. I believe is possible. I believe that it can happen. Um and that's just because of my belief,
Mm-hmm.
my religious background. That's why I believe that. And that's by choice for me to believe that. So I do believe that type of thing happen um for some people in the industry. Not I'm not saying everybody, but that just like even if you was to take the industry out of it, there's gonna be some people who would try to practice that or feel like that they're in that, and that's that. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's I feel like it is real. My For me to what I believe. So.
Yeah, and I wholly believe that we're living in spiritual warfare. We're
Mhm.
marketed to every single day with just garbage. I mean,
Right.
it's not even kind of garbage. It's literally garbage. And we're told this is the way you want to look. If you want to look beautiful, you buy these products.
Right.
You wear these clothes. The music videos that promote the most promiscuity seem to get the
Mhm.
most plays. Is that really
Yep.
because people like those more, or is that because those companies are paying big dollars to keep pushing that on us? They want us to believe that that's what success equates to, right?
Mhm.
It's
Yep,
pretty mind numbing, actually, if you think about it. But yeah, I totally believe in that there is spiritual warfare, and I don't know that the good spirit is winning spiritual warfare right now. If you had to just take the numbers, 8 billion people, maybe 7 billion of them are lost as hell,
I
literally.
agree. I agree.
You
It's
know,
sad, but I agree.
it's pretty far out. So, what's your legacy you're going to leave on the world? What's your goal?
My goal is that people should still go after their dreams no matter what anybody say with their uniqueness that they have of themselves. For
Hmm.
me, my uniqueness is martial arts. So by me incorporating my martial arts background within my music some kind of way, that's what makes me unique.
Hmm.
And that doesn't, and by it not really being big in the industry of somebody doing it or mixing that in, and it's not normal, that's not going to deter me from trying to go after me wanting to do music full time and going after my dreams of being doing music full time, because that's a dream of mine, is to do music full time. It's not being famous and this and that. Like it was that starting off, but as I've grown and, you know, been going through different things on my music journey throughout the years, my dream is doing music full time.
Mm,
So yeah, so to just, don't be afraid to go after your dreams using your unique talent that you may have. Just
right.
because nobody else doing it, you can still, break barriers, and to, if that's your passion and you're good at it, go for
Amen to that. I can't close the show stronger than that. So, if we want
it.
to stalk you on the social media, where do we go to follow you?
Okay, I have Instagram is Miss CC07, MISSCC07, or you can just type in Candice Cooper and that will still pop up. My Facebook is Candice Cooper. My and changed the name X, which is formerly known as Twitter,
Hmm.
Miss
Right.
CC07. But you can just go to my website and it'll have all of my social media handles on there. My website is CandiceCooperLive.com.
CandiceCooperLive.com. Candice, thank you so much for being on the Ace Michael Show today and sharing your thoughts and ideas. Really good stuff there. And all you
Thank you.
guys, support Candice. That's your job right now. Support Candice. Make sure she's doing fine. I'm going to check on both of you in a little bit and see how everybody's doing. And thank you again, Candice, for being on the show. Listen,
Thank
guys,
you.
you know what I say at the end of the show? I still mean it. Live the life you love and love the life you live. Thank you.